Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. It is a absolutely beautiful day outside. After having a week of just crazy hot days, it feels really good. I have nothing to talk about today. That's it. The weather, I've hit that point in life where it's like I feel like there's the weather and my health. What else is there? There's not really a whole lot. Because I was listening to a podcast today. Was it a podcast? I don't know what it was. I was listening to something. And I heard a thing that I've heard before. And that was that more money does not necessarily equal more happiness. And in fact, there's kind of a threshold. I've heard this statistic, or not a statistic, I've heard this idea before, but I never really put a lot of thought into it. And the number is $75,000 a year in the US. $75,000 a year is the threshold for I'm good, and anything beyond that is just extra and does not necessarily equate to more happiness. And I can tell you that's true. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't make beyond that, but I'm right there. I'm right in that spot where I'm good. Like, I have the money to pay my bills when I get them. I don't have to stress about which paycheck this comes out of. I get a bill. I go, okay, pay, goes away, whatever. You know, reading, or not reading. There's a service that I used to see a lot of YouTube channels that I watch used to advertise. I forget what it was called, but it was basically like this company goes out and looks for things you've subscribed to that you're not aware of, and they remove those subscriptions for you. And it blew my mind. Like, there are people who are paying monthly like one person said, "Oh, they've saved me $120 a month." Like, how are you spending $120 a month that you're not aware of? That was my thought. Now, could $120 disappear from my account and it wouldn't impact me very much? Yes. Would I be unaware? No. I would be very aware. I would be like, whoa, what is this payment? But part of that is I go through my accounts every month. I don't think that's a standard practice anymore. Since we stopped keeping checkbooks, which, yeah, not doing that. People don't necessarily, check the balance. All right, I'm good. I'll buy the thing. I'm still not that person. I go through my books every month because I have a business and I have to report income to that business. And so I have to check and make sure each month I keep my books updated. Okay, I have done this, done this, done this. Ideally, I would do it with every transaction, but in reality, at the end of the month, I look at the books for that month and go, all right, this is this line item, this is this line item. I'm also still paying all my bills personally. I refuse to have auto pay on anything. There's too many horror stories. Like my phone gives me, if I were to set up an auto pay for my phone, I'm with T-Mobile. Who am I with? Yeah, I'm with T-Mobile. I had to look. They give you like a 5% discount. Not doing that. I've seen too many stories of people being like, T-Mobile tried to charge me $3,000. Nope. If they would let me do it and set an overage, like if it's over this amount, you don't charge me, cool. But they won't do that, and so I'm not letting them. It's so very little effort for me to go, oh, I got a bill, pay the bill. It's not worth my time and my headache for them to overcharge me, and then now my account's empty and I can't pay other bills. Not doing it. Not doing that. So I don't do auto pay on anything. I pay all my bills myself. 99% of my bills are electronic withdrawal, so I don't have to worry about floating checks or anything like that. Every now and then I'll get a bill from like the dentist's office or whatever that doesn't have electronic billing, and my bank will just mail them a check. So checks are still a thing in the United States. For those of you who aren't in the U.S., surprise, people in the United States still use checks. I used one this past weekend because I had to take my kid to 4-H and I had to pay and I didn't have cash. I wrote a check. That's still a thing. Very rare. In fact, I don't have checks for my checking account. I have checks for my business account. So when I have to put money back in and take money out of this account, whatever, because I'm not bothering to get checks from my personal account. But so anyway, I look at my books every month. But especially prior to this becoming whatever I am now, a project manager or whatever. I mean, a $5 charge would have been like, what is going on here? There was no chance that I would forget that I signed up for some service and they're charging me monthly. Now, is it possible? Sure, I guess. If I wasn't really diligent, somebody could sneak a $10 charge in and I probably wouldn't notice. But more than that, yeah, I'm definitely not $120 a month. But I could tell you that if $120 a month disappeared out of my account, it wouldn't impact my life. Like, it would be a very small impact. In fact, I'm taking that money out and putting it into retirement because I don't have a retirement. I had one. Through my 20s, I had retirement through the various places that I worked. I had to cash all that out. We ran out of money, so I lost all of that. In my 30s, at 31, I guess, is when I started with the school board. That's when my retirement started. So all of my 20s is lost. And I think I had to cash out. Yeah, when my ex moved out, I was probably close to 10 grand in debt. And I cashed out retirement savings to pay that off. So I reset at 39 years old or whatever. My life reset. Like, I had no retirement savings. I had nothing. So I've only been able to have retirement savings for the last couple of years. I mean, for the last 6 years or whatever I've been with my current position, they've taken out the normal retirement, but I haven't been able to put anything extra in. Well, now I can, and now I am. Like, I need to pile this on. I need to have that fallback. I also have to have, I've had zero savings. There was no buffer for putting a new roof on the house, taking care of gutter. Like, there was no buffer for anything. So anything that needed to be done, either I had to do it and just take a loan out, or it just didn't get done. So I have that now, which means there's still room. I could put more, but I'm not. But I can tell you that threshold, that $75,000, at least in West Virginia, I feel like that number is not great. Like, I feel that's the number here, and this is one of the lowest economies in the country. That $75,000 in California, in the Bay Area or LA or San Francisco, like those areas, the coastal areas, $75,000 is barely surviving still, right? I don't know where I was headed with this discussion, but it was just a thought. It was a thought of, I don't have financial stress in my life, which feels fantastic. It's so great. And I'm able to do things like, my support for Portal Games is coming from my company, and when we have a big bill, I just pay the bill and then they reimburse me, and I can do that because I have that buffer. I couldn't do that. There's no way that could have been a thing in the past, but we're good now. Yeah, it's good. The weather's good. Finances are good. My marriage is amazing. My children are phenomenal. It's good. What would $75,000 do for where you live? Do you feel like that's still a threshold number? Let me know in the comments. That's per year, by the way. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should not sound smart is wheel. It's a noun meaning prosperous well-being, vitality. Jordan is convinced that expensive jewelry is necessary for one's weal and welfare. Wheel. W-E-A-L. That's an interesting word. Wheel. Never heard it before. Don't know that I would ever use it because it sounds like wheel. W-H-E-E-L.